Time now once again for another 2-minute drill on 1520 KOLM, The Ticket, your sports connection. Scotty along with Frank Spaeth. Let's talk T-Wolves offseason because we never seem to be in the playoffs.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Oh.
Next year. I feel like next year is the year, Scotty.
Oh, I mean, with 2 Rookie of the Years, let's face it, Cat is going to win the Rookie of the Year this year. So we have back-to-back ROIs. What do you think, man? Where do we go here with head coach?
I don't know. Honestly, I was, in some respects, a little surprised that they let Sam Mitchell go. I mean, they won.
You think so?
Well, yeah, they won 13 more games this year than last year. Mm-hmm. He kind of just got thrown into the head coaching role. He didn't start the season there. Or, that wasn't the plan.
That was not the plan.
Ended up there under some really tragic circumstances. But still, I think he did a pretty good job with a young team. They went 500 over the last 20 games of the season. They were 10-10. I mean, I think they were making some good improvements. So, part of me wishes they maybe would have given him another year to see what he can do.
All things considered, consistency is the way to go in the NBA. If there's too much fluctuation from GM down to head coach to, the water boy, you messed that up. Who knows what's going to happen?
Everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
It's amazing. I mean, when you think about a team and team chemistry and that team nucleus, it is pretty amazing to think about some of the, not just players, but even, some of that outside personnel that can make such a big difference if they're not there and can really affect the way a team works together.
Absolutely. I mean, reports are flying everywhere that the T-Wolves job is the most attractive in the NBA in years.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's talent across the board. I mean, everywhere from Wiggins to Cat to Zach LaVine. You got Shabazz Muhammad coming off the bench as a sixth man. Ricky Rubio, maybe he'll find his jump shot here in the next year.
And they're going to have another good draft pick this year.
Absolutely.
They're going to just add another young piece to that already strong nucleus of young players. So I think I think it's a great looking job. The big question is who's going to take it? Who's going to get that?
The 3 big names floating around right now: Scott Brooks, former coach from Oklahoma City. You got Tom Thibodeau, who coached the Bulls a few years back, and Jeff Van Gundy. He hasn't coached since 2007, but he's an analyst and he's been around the sport for gosh knows how long, and he's just a flat-out genius.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I'm hearing that Tom Thibodeau wants to be not only the head coach, but also president of basketball operations.
He wants it all.
He wants to have the say in everything, top to bottom. So I'm not sure if that's something Glenn Taylor wants, is that much power in one man. We'll see. I mean, he had some success with the Bulls. He had some personalities he had to deal with, and yet he was able to get the job done pretty well there. I think he won, 250 or so games versus about 140
easily.
losses. That's not a bad winning percentage for a head coach in the NBA.
And he's a defensive-minded coach, so...
Yeah, and I think, Van Gundy's interesting because, like you say, I mean, he had success as a head coach. It's been a decade since he's led a team.
A lot of things that change in the game.
Exactly. Not just in the game, but in the way players approach the game. I think, you get out of there for a decade and you're looking at a different generation of players. So it'd be interesting to see if he could come in and he could have the same kind of success if he brings the same style of coaching that he had 10 years ago.
You think we'll have a coach this time next week?
I don't know. Do they really have to rush?
I'm kind of on the fence because sooner the better, because you want them to be able to evaluate the talent coming out of college with the draft coming up in June. But do you really need them in place at the same time before the ping pong balls are picked out too?
Right. And my question is there an assistant coach on one of these playoff teams that might be worth talking to before they make that decision?
We'll have to wait and see. So in the meantime, you can like us on Facebook at 1520 The Ticket and check our website out, 1520theticket.com. For Frank Spaeth, I'm Scotty Matthews. That's another 2-minute drill on 1520 KOLM The Ticket.